Okay, so tuone hypothesis testing kwa kutumia two test statistics. Ya kwanza ni Z testing ambapo tutumia hii Z table. Ya pili ni T testing ambapo tutumia hii hapa T student distribution table. Okay, so kuna procedures za kufuata, 8 procedures of hypothesis testing. So procedure number 1, state the problem or the claim or hypothesis. We have null hypothesis na alternative hypothesis. Kwa hivyo state the claim manake unafanya hypothesis formulation, una state null hypothesis na alternative. Okay, then una specify level of significance, can be 95%, 90%, or can be 99%. Level of significance like confidence level. Okay, so probability of success and probability of failure. Step number 3, select test statistics. So test statistics tutatumia mbili. Ya kwanza ni T test ambapo tutakuja kusoma kwenye T student distribution table. Na hii tunaitumia pale sample size ikiwa not large enough. Sample size ikiwa less than 30 tunatumia T table. Okay, na sample size ikiwa large enough tutatumia Z table. Okay, hiyo ndo test statistics. Test statistics zipo mbili, tutatumia mbili, T test na Z test. Step number 4, establish the critical value and then step number 5, determine the actual value of the test statistic. Step number 6, determine whether the actual value of test statistic in a fall with the acceptance or rejection region. Then unafanya statistical decision whether to accept or to reject null hypothesis. Final, unafanya interpretation na take appropriate managerial decision. Okay, so now check example number 1. This is example number 1. So kuna parameters za kuchukua unafanya hypothesis testing. First parameter is population mean, mu. Another is a sample mean x bar. Another is population standard deviation ambayo ni sigma. Na ikiwa population standard deviation is unknown tunatumia S. Hii S itakuwa ni sample standard deviation. Okay, sigma or S for sample standard deviation ikiwa population standard deviation is unknown. Another is N. N is a sample size. Okay, sample size. So hizi ni parameters tunazotumia kufanya hypothesis testing. Okay, okay, so for example kwenye question yetu kisoma hii question kwambia Chuka company produces bolts and nuts. Okay, the bolts are produced with a diameter exactly 5.0 centimeter. So 5.0 centimeter ni mean of produced bolts, ikiwa na maana kwamba hizi bolts ndo population yetu, entire population. Bolts entire population can be P. Okay, bolts entire population. Also kwenye hii population ya bolts amechukua mean yake ambayo ni hii hapa. So 5.0 centimeter hii ni just a population mean, mu. Okay, a sample of 36. So sample size is 36. Okay, sample size. So here hapa will be N. Okay, N is sample size. Okay, so such bolts produced an average diameter of 5.06 centimeter. So hii itakuwa ni X bar is sample mean. Okay, sample mean with a standard deviation of 2.03 centimeter. This standard deviation ni sample standard deviation. So hii sio population standard deviation. Okay, sio population, is sample standard deviation. So hii ni S. Okay, so what is the problem? A problem is a claim. A claim ambayo ni hii hapa, is there a sufficient statistical evidence at level of significance 5% that the average diameter of bolt is not, okay, is not. So hii ni alternative hypothesis, okay, is not, okay, and hii mu is null hypothesis hii hapa, okay. So tunataka tu test whether to accept or to reject null hypothesis, okay. Okay, now good. So step ya kwanza kabisa ambayo utaifanya ni kufanya data collection. Step itakofuata ni apply zile procedures. So tuende kwenye solution. Okay, so step number 1, population mean. Sema population mean kwenye question yetu is 5.0 cm. So andika 5.0, okay. And sample mean, okay, so sample mean kuja kwenye question yetu, the sample mean is 5.06, so it's 5.06. And unajua kucheki standard deviation is known or unknown. So kuja kuangalia kwenye swali, standard deviation hii hapo ni ya sample na sio population. So kama ni ya sample sio population, maana ni kwamba haiwi sigma, itakuwa ni s, okay. So hapa tuna just kuiondoa hii sigma, okay, tunaandika just s, okay. So hiyo ni standard deviation lakini ni ya sample, okay, 2.03. So naandika hapo 2.03. And sample size, you check sample size. Now a sample size is 36, okay. So you check for sample size is 36. Now confidence level ni hii hapa tumepewa ni 5%. Confidence level yani level of significance, ni kwa kifupi level of significance equal to 5%, okay. Okay, what is a claim? So hapa lazima andike what is a claim, what is a problem ambayo itakufanya wewe ufanye hypothesis testing. What is a claim? Okay, claim ni kwamba, okay, claim ni hii hapa. What is a claim? Claim ni hii hapa. Is there sufficient statistical evidence at 5% level of significance that the average diameter of bolt is not. So ukisema is not, maana kwamba can be greater than 5.0 cm ambayo ni mu, ambayo ni hapo. Can be less also, can be less than 5.0. Is not, maana can be greater or can be less. Is not, okay. If so, is not, can be greater, can be less, hii inaona kwamba that is a claim, okay. That is a claim. A claim anakuambia kwamba is not 5.0 cm. So anasema is not this one, okay. So kuja kufanya zile procedures. So now step number 1, step number 1, okay, this is the step number 1. Step number 1, kija hapa katika zile steps, state the claim. The claim manake una formulate hypothesis formulation. So kija katika hii, now hapa tunafanya step number 1 is hypothesis formulation. Tuna H naught ina stand kama null hypothesis, tuna H1 kama alternative hypothesis. So tunatumia population parameter mu equal to, ndio hapa, our mu is 5.0, okay, 5.0 centimeter, okay, that is mu. That is null hypothesis. Null hypothesis ni direct statement, always na return true, sababu ndio statement ambayo tumeisema, unaweza kusema hivyo. Okay, so alternative hypothesis maana ni kwamba alternative hypothesis unaangalia claim. Claim nasemaje? Is not. Kama is not, can be greater, can be less. Kwa alternative unachoangalia ni ile claim. So kwenye alternative maana ni kwamba mu is not, can be greater, can be less. Kwa is not equal to what? Population parameter ambayo ni 5.0 centimeter. Step number 1 done. Okay, so now step number 2, right here, step what? Step 2. Step 2 ukifika specify the level of significance. Okay, step number 2. So step number 2 is level, okay, level of, andika kwa kifupi tu, of S, level of significance, just level of significance. Okay, okay. So tumepewa 5%. What is 5%? 5% is probability of failure. Nasema kwamba hii ni Q, probability of failure is Q, 5%. And probability of success maana itakuwa ni 95%. Okay, this is probability of success. So now good. If 5% and a decimal point of 5%, decimal point, decimal for 5% is 0.05, okay, 0.05. Na kwa sababu hii ni not equal to, ina maana kwamba ni two tail test, kwa sababu ni not equal to. Kwa kama ni two tail test, 0.05 divided by 2. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu hiyo ni two tail test, so 0.05 na divided by 2. So 0.05 divided by 2 ndio pasa equal to, okay, 0.025. Okay, hii hapa value ni probability, unaenda kuisoma katika table. Okay okay, hii unaenda kuisoma katika table. Ni table gani ambayo unaenda kuisoma? Sasa tutakuja kuona unaenda kuisoma katika table gani. Okay, so now ukija kucheck hapa, sample size is large enough. Sample size is large enough. Okay, ikiwa sample size is large enough, tunatumia z test. Okay, kwa sababu sample size ni large enough. Large enough ni sample size ambayo ni greater or equal to 30. Sample size ikiwa hivi tunatumia z test. Okay, so now tunaenda kwenye z test, tunaenda kusoma hii hapa 0.025. So this is a z table. Okay, so within a z body, I think, okay, now you can see hii ni probability unaisoma ndani ya z body, z table body, ambayo kwamba ni hii hapa 0.050. Okay, ambayo kiangalia inamkia katika row hii hapa 1.9. Okay, na kwenye column ni 1. I think hii hapa. Okay, okay, ni hii hapa. Okay, kwa hiyo itakuwa ni 1.96. Intersection itakuwa ni hapo. Kwa hii probability unasoma corresponding column na corresponding row, unapata ni hii hapa. In case umepewa table, ni T table, how to read in T table. Okay, unaweza kusoma kwenye T table. Kwenye T table moja kusoma kwenye hizi hapa columns, hizi hapa row ni degree of freedom. Okay, degree of freedom Now atucheck sana. Moja kusoma 0.025 ambayo ni hii. Hiyo inakuja kusoma value ya chini ambayo hii ndio kukuta ni 1.96. For two tail itakuwa ni ile 0.05 what in probability of failure. Okay, probability of failure 0.05 the same ambayo ni unapata ile 1.96. So hapa manake nini? Manake sasa hii hapo iko to 1.96. Okay, that is a step number 2. Step number 3, now we select test statistic. So step, okay, number 3, okay, so test statistic. So kuja kuangalia step hii hapa, let's check step number 3 is select the test statistic. Okay, so ndo hii hapo test statistic. Okay, statistic nao utamalizia statistic. Okay, to select a test statistic, kwanza kabisa unakuja kucheck ikiwa sample size n is greater or equal to 30. Okay, tunatumia z test. Okay, and if population standard deviation is known tunatumia sigma, if is unknown tunatumia s. So test statistic tutatumia z. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu sample size yetu ni large enough, sample size is large enough na 36. Okay, so here maana kwamba tutatumia z. So now z equal to hii formula ya normal distribution. Maana kwamba ina follow normal distribution. Normal distribution inakuwa ni individual data point x minus entire population mean mu divide kwa population standard deviation. Hii ni formula ya normal distribution. Now tunaiconvert hii hapa kuja katika hypothesis testing ambayo itakuwa ni z equal to, tuna change x ambayo x nasema kwa individual data points xi can be xi, inakuwa ni sample mean. Okay, minus population mean. Okay, divide by, so tuna replace sigma na kuweka kitu kinaitwa what standard error. So standard error itakaa hapa, this is a standard error. The standard error itakuwa ni population standard deviation if standard deviation is known divide by square root ya sample size n. Okay, hii ni standard error. Na ikiwa standard deviation kwenye equation ni unknown, una replace, toa hiyo q unaweka s. So kutokana na scenario yetu sasa, just replace this q, okay, na kuweka what, kuweka s. So let's put s. That is a test statistic. Okay, so step number 3 is done. Okay, so tunakuja kwenye another step. Step number 4, establishes the critical values. Okay, establishes the critical values. Critical values is the region. So ngine region, step 5. Okay, so just write step 5. Step 5 ni critical value. Establish critical value. Establish, okay, establish dash da critical value. Okay, and critical value unachora normal curve. This is a normal curve or graph. Unachora graph. Now this is my normal distribution curve. Okay, okay, this is the mean. Okay, mean always is 0 kwa sababu hii ni normal distribution, so mu is 0. Okay, okay, so now kuja kumbuka kwamba kwenye step number 1 alternative ni not equal true. Okay, alternative hypothesis niki recall is not equal true, can be greater, can be less. Okay, if so, hapa tunasema can be negative side, can be positive size. So we na shade hii area, okay, shade, okay, na shade kwa namna hiyo. Then our critical value is 1.96. I think hapa 1.96. So 1.96 hiyo tunaandika huku 1.96 can be greater and 1.96 can be less. So this is a positive number, okay, and this is a negative. So this is 0, this can be 1, okay, this is 1, this is 1, and 2, and I can be 1. So kunakuwa na number, okay. So hii hapa inaitwa accept null hypothesis, acceptance region. So hapa ni accept null hypothesis. So ngeandika ni acceptance region or accept H naught and reject alternative, okay. Alternative hapo ta reject, okay. So this is acceptance region, and hii itakuwa ni reject null hypothesis. So hii hapa ni just rejection region, so reject H naught and accept H1, okay. That is why, okay. So step number 5 done. On step number 6. Step number 6. Step number 6. Determine whether. Okay, step number 5, I think. Determine the actual value of the test statistic. Step number 5, I think in step number. Okay, this is a step 1. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a step 2, okay, and this is a step 3. I think this is a step 4, okay. I think kama kuna step nimeruka, okay, lakini tunaenda vizuri. So establish the critical value. Determine the actual value of test statistic. Actual value of test statistic. Actual value mnake tunachukua hii formula yetu ambayo nimesema tunatumia z equal to sample mean minus mu population mean. Standard deviation is unknown, okay, sigma. So x bar is z equal to x bar is 5.06 x bar. So ukikumbuka x bar ni hii hapa, okay, minus mu is 5.0, okay. So minus, this is minus 5.0 divide kwa sample standard deviation is 2.03, then divided by square root ya sample size, and sample size here I think is 36. Okay, just compute hiyo hapo, okay, compute hiyo mwenye kupata ni equal to 0, I think 0.17, around this one 0.17. I think this step is done. Another step nyingine, so conclude hapa. Another step is determine whether the actual value of test statistics falls with the acceptance or rejection. Okay, now this is the actual value step. Step kwamba compute actual value yenyewe ndo hii, okay. So hii actual value na hii hapa ambayo ni hiyo ni actual value na hii ni critical value, inaangukia pande gani? 0.1 na hii ni 0.9, inaangukia upande gani? Upande wa acceptance or rejection region. Okay, so 0.17 can be somewhere, can be this point hapa inaweza kawa ni 0.17 positive, mbele yake ndio inaenda 0.9 so on. Na hii ili eneo linaitwaje? Acceptance lote. Hii ni acceptance region. If acceptance region ina maana kwamba accept null. Okay, accept null. Okay, so hiyo ilikuwa ni step kwamba hii ina fall kwenye acceptance. Okay, so tulisha determine kwamba ina fall under acceptance. Now step number 7, make a statistical decision. Ili hapa katika step number 7, now statistical decision. Decision ya statistical maana yake kwamba accept null, accept I think it's going to accept h naught, accept h naught and reject okay h1. Why? Sababu compute the value ambayo ni actual value ina fall kwenye acceptance region. Okay, ina fall kwenye acceptance region. So here is statistical decision, lakini hujafanya managerial decision bado. So now interpretation and the appropriate managerial decision. Interpretation and the appropriate managerial decision. So kuna difference zipo. Kuna difference between statistical decision and managerial decision. Statistiki unafanya decision una base na figure. Figure inaniambiaje? Inaniambia compute the value ina fall kwenye acceptance region. Umetoa statistic decision, lakini sio managerial decision. Managerial decision unakuja kuangalia claim inasemaje. Okay, claim anakwambia managerial decision. Okay, is there sufficient in order to make managerial decision? Check a claim. Is there sufficient statistical evidence kwa kutumia hii confidence level of significance? The average diameter of bolt is not this one, is not. Now tunaenda kwenye statistical decision. Since the claim was the diameter bolt of 5.0%, hii ndio ilikuwa ni 5.0%, hii ilikuwa ni null hypothesis. Okay, so hapa wana kwamba no sufficient evidence that diameter of bolt is not 5, is not, no sufficient. Hiyo kama kwamba is exactly 5.0%. So tuna accept this h naught. So tunasema ni acceptance region, tuna accept h naught. No evidence. This one is the alternative. No evidence to accept this statement kwamba the diameter of bolt is not 5.0%. Okay, so we reject it. No evidence to support. Tuna accept null kwa sababu computed value imefall kwenye acceptance region. So hakuna evidence ya kusupport kwamba is not. Tunasemaje? Is exactly 5.0%. Kwenye step hiyo sasa ndo utakuwa umefanya managerial decision. I think let's delete it. Okay, kwenye step ndo utakuwa umefanya managerial decision. Okay, step number 8 utakuwa umefanya managerial decision. Step number 8, take appropriate managerial decision. Now decision is no sufficient evidence the diameter of bolt is not 5.0 centimeter. is exactly 5.0 centimeter. Okay, so you can try example number 2. Twende haraka kwenye example number 2. Okay, kwenye example number 2 anakuambiaje? A new blood pressure drug is advertised to reduce after 1 week of medication. Okay, so haya ni maelezo mengi. Of course information za kuteki hapo ni zile zile kama tulivyosema. Information ya kwanza ni hii hapa ambayo ni mu. Information ya pili ni sample mean. Okay, information ya tatu ni kama standard deviation ni known, teka sigma. Kama ni unknown, teka s. Another is sample what? Sample size. Okay, and then level of significance, and then una specify claim. What is a claim? Okay, so a new blood pressure drug is advertised to reduce after 1 week and so on a patient's blood pressure by an average of 10 units. So this 10 units is average of blood pressure. I think this is a mu. Okay, and anakuambia blood pressure reductions were recorded for 36 patients. So hii ni sample size. Okay, is n. Okay, n. Okay, and after treatment with the drug, the mean and deviation of this sample. So this is the mean, this is a x bar, and this is the sample standard deviation, so is s, sababu population. What is the claim? Do the data appear to contradict? Usilaza contradiction. So kwenye problem hii haja state whether it's greater or less or different. Different maana not equal to, haja state. So cha kufanya nini? Sample mean ni 8.7 and population mean ni 10, maana less. Hii sample mean ni less than population mean. Okay, kwa hiyo uta state hapo katika our solution mu itakuwa ni just 10. So tutaje kuandika hapa mu is 10. Okay, and sample mean itakuwa ni 8.7. Okay, 8.7, and sample standard deviation is 6.8. so andika hapo 6.8, and sample size as well. Ya kucheki sample size is 36 sample size. Okay, so tunakuja hapa tunaandika hiyo 36, and level of significance. Let's delete it. Okay, level of significance ni 5%. Or here 5%. Okay, so hii ni one tail, not two tail. So nakuja hapa kwenye now step number 1 na state null na alternative. Mu is 10, so let's remove, is now 10. Okay, this is a null hypothesis. What about alternative? Okay, alternative ili uweze kuistate unakuja kwenye claim, unakuja kuicheki claim. So claim is maji, claim inakwambia na contradict. This is a claim, data appear to contradict. That is a claim. If contradiction undefined can be not equal to, can be greater, can be less, undefined. So we take a parameter sample statistic 8.7, then population mean is 10. So hii ni less than 10, okay? Sample mean. So from this case tunakuja ku state kwamba ni less than 10 kwenye our solution, okay? So now kuja hapo is less than 10. So is less than 10. So that is the step number 1. Step number 2, level of significance is 5%. 5% is 0.05. 0.05 ni level of significance, okay? Hii hatuigawanyi kwa mbili, hatuidivide by 2. So kwa nini? Kwa sababu sio two tail. Naona less than, maana hii hatuigawanyi kwa mbili. Unachukua 0.05 unaona kuisoma katika T distribution table 0.05. So kuja katika T table unaweza kusoma 0.05, okay? 0.05 hii hapo. Unakuja kaangalia, unakuja kusoma upande wa one tail kwa sababu ni less than 0.05. So unakuja chini ni I think 90%, no. This is for two tail. I think you okay, here for 0.05 hii ni two tail, this is one tail. So ukishika chini uja kuta hii hapa ni 1.645 I think, okay? So hapa niliandika equal to, okay? So equal to 1.645, okay? This is a step number 1, step number 2 done, okay? So kwenye step number 3, I think step number 3, step number 2, okay, this is step test statistic, okay? Kwa sababu sample size ni large enough, unatumia Z for the same test statistic. And again kwenye hii step ya of course hii hapa tumeluka, so establish critical value. So maana hii ni one tail test, itakuwa hivi. So hii side of course, sorry, hii side tuta delete kwa sababu ni less than. Hii side tuta delete kwa namna hii, okay? Okay, so now good. So kwa namna hii, alafu ile 1.645 itakuwa hapa na itakuwa ni negative, okay? Itakuwa ni negative. So this is rejection region, okay? And hii hapa ni acceptance region, au hapa ni acceptance region. And this is mu equal to 0. Zinaja ku compute actual value, so uta replace hizi value, utaweka hizi value hapa, tutaje kuangalia actual value kisha tanga ina fall pande gani. Okay, that is example number 2. We have also example number 3. Unaweza try. Okay, so small sample test for the level of population mean. So kwenye video nyingine ndio kucheki hapa hii ni T distribution.